Hello and welcome. My name's Super Saiyan and this is your weekly news and pre-order video covering all of the new releases from Forge World and Games Workshop. As usual, I'd like to say a huge thank you to all of you members, Patreons, Element Game affiliate link users, and everyone else that subscribes to the channel, watches the live streams, and supports in those ways. I've recently discovered that this channel now has 3,000 videos on it, which is incredible. And you'd think that maybe I'd be running out of content, but believe me, there's a lot more to come. So let's get straight onto the video today. We will move on over to the Warhammer community website, where there have been quite a few juicy pieces of news this past week. So if we go view all, and we go back a week ago to the 14th of January, so all the way back down to here. Last weekend there was a huge number of pre-orders, and this weekend it's not that much different. Still a lot of pre-orders to get through. So last weekend we had the pre-order of Garrow, Knight of Grey in hardback and special edition, and I really enjoy when Games Workshop do this, when they release a special edition of a book, especially a Siege of Terror book, and the actual hardback version. I think that's one of the best ways to do it. Of course, the premium way to do it would also be to release the digital version, which they are doing at the same time, and the paperback version. You know, like a $6.99, $7.99 version of the book for customers that not really that keen on having a big, thick, hardback book. However, this book is only about 144 pages, so it's quite a slim book, and it's not kind of the next instalment of the Siege of Terror books. It's not like a new part. It's an additional book, much in the same vein as Sons of Selenar and Fury of Magnus. But they are releasing that, and you can pick that up in your stores today if they do have them. God Eater's Son was another novel, and Soul Slayer. So they were all up for pre-order last weekend, along with a absolute slurry of new miniatures. The first release was the General's Handbook for Pitched Battles Season 2. Then we had the Battle Tome for Slaves of Darkness, which I'm a big fan of. I have that from the army set of the Slaves of Darkness, and I think it's fantastic. The special edition, limited edition, is absolutely gorgeous as well. That artwork is beautiful. And it's a decently sized book too. You also had the new, Combat Patrol for Slaves to Darkness, which is the Vanguard box set, and this has a number of new miniatures. They're not all new though. I'm sure I've seen the Slaves to Darkness hero right here before, maybe in resin or metal form, but he is now in plastic form. The warriors are all new. The knights are the same knights from a few years ago, but with a new sprue, and the chariot is old. So yeah, it's a bit of an odd one that they started with the army set that had all new miniatures, and now the Vanguard set has some new miniatures. You got the Demon Prince, which is quite pricey, but I still think he's a decent model, and you can use him in Warhammer 40k, such as, like this. You've then got the Chaos Lord on Karkadrak, finally available for the first time. You've got Eternus, the First Prince. This is Eternus, and this is a Chaos Lord on mount, and it's a dual kit, so you can pick which one to build out of that same kit. You've then got the Exalted Hero of Chaos. Not a massive fan, if I'm honest. You've got the Chaos Chosen, which are a very good box set. You've got the Chaos Warriors. Can't wait to get my hands on them and give you first impressions. You've got the Chaos Knights, again, same set as previous, but with an upgrade sprue. You've got the Ogroid Theridons, Slaves to Darkness die set. Horus Ascended was a big pre-order from last weekend on the Saturday. And then some Horus Heresy Thousand Suns Mark 6 upgrades in the form of the helmets, the helmeted heads, and the shoulder pauldrons, as well as the Mark 6 upgrades for Ultramarines, and the new White Dwarf. So a lot to order, a lot to pre-order last weekend, and this weekend there's a lot to pre-order too, and we'll get there in a moment. Well, we'll get there right now actually, because the next day, on Sunday, at about 6 o'clock, we have a look at it's like a pre-order preview that happens every Sunday. And this weekend, to pre-order, it's all about Astra Militarum, or Cadia, or Imperial Guard, whichever takes your fancy. The Codex has been around for a while in the Cadia Stands box set. I've heard some good things about it. I've heard some good things about the miniatures in there. So it kicks off with the Codex. Then you've got the Lord Solar Leontus as a Titan collector. One of the best parts about this model is the plastic broken Chaos Reaver Titan head that the horse stands on. Then you've got Lord Castellan Ursula Creed. Then you've got Cadian Shock Troops, which is a good set apparently. Then you've got Cadian Command Squad, the Heavy Weapons Squad, which looks pretty decent. Rogel Dawn Battle Tank. Yeah, I've heard some mixed opinions on that. The Field Ordnance Battery. I've heard some good things about those batteries. The Sentinel, where you can turn it into where you have an option for an armoured Sentinel instead. The Baneblade is just being re-released in new packaging, I believe. But you can build 8 different Baneblades in that kit. You've got the Leman Russ Battle Tank with a number of different options there. A Primaris Psyker, not a Primaris Space Marine Psyker, but there are a few units in 40k that share the Primaris name. You've got the data cards, you've got the dice. Only getting 15 dice, I think that's a bit lackluster. You've got the art print bundle, and then you've got some models from Forge World in the form of Necromunda Party, a Mercator Palladus corpse harvesting party. Yeah, decent looking models, I think. They'll go very well with your corpse harvesters. You've got a couple of hired guns, Rex Spires and Estus Jet. Estus, kind of reminds me of the Estus flask. And you've got Ajax Gorgoth, Lord of the Fist. I think there's a lot going on this model. I think he's very, very top heavy with the power fist and this big chainsword. But overall, I've been incredibly impressed with all the Necromunda miniatures. You've got an Armageddon Special Edition by Aaron Dembski Bowden. I think it just is a really nice limited edition, special edition of Hell's Reach and Blood and Fire combined into one book with a little introduction from the author. Looks fantastic. I know a lot of people will be jumping on this because Hell's Reach is absolutely fantastic, so that might be one to pick up on your radar. Then you've got a couple of novels in different languages. Imperium is now coming to Japan. Every other year, I think they're rolling it out to new regions. You've got the battle report with Angron, and then a little look at their Twitch channel. The next day, on the Monday, we had a look at some Beastmasters and these squiggly beasts, these millisaurs. Yeah, so you've got these creatures. I'm very impressed. Like I say, I've been and this Beastmaster is kind of like wearing one on his back. I've been very impressed with the Necromunda creepy crawlies. I hope they continue with those. You've got the Beasts of Chaos are in their element in this savage new era. So look at the Beasts of Chaos. You've got to look at some bloody things for Age of Sigmar. A little video about that. You've got the Regimental Standard Field Ordnance Battery instruction for the Common Guardsmen. You've got the Rumour Engine, 17th, very 40k looking, some kind of servo skull speaker system. Warhammer Horus Heresy, you've got Unstoppable Iron Hands meet Immovable Blood Angels in the final exemplary battles for download. You've got the Regimental Standard for this new Sentinel. You've got the exploits of Astra Militarum with an exclusive excerpt, it's a strange word, from Rob Young's new novel Longshot. You've got a look at the Angron battle report, where you can see him and a World Eater's force in action, all new miniatures it seems, and yeah, some little pictures of what's going on there. You've got the regimental standard, get to know Lord Castellan Ursula Creed. You've got the Angels of Death Origin Returns, with the tale of beleaguered tech priest Castia Theta 9. You're celebrating the 40 years of Warhammer. 40 years with all these miniatures. You've got Chaos Warrior Slambo. You've got Space Marine. There you go. You've got Kill Team Meta Watch. And then one of my favourite articles this week has been the Sky Hunter Squadrons, showcasing the brand new plastic scimitar jet bikes. Lots of options here. I like the bases. I think they've done a fantastic job. They're all in Mark 6, so yeah, I mean, I'm not sure how easy it's going to be to put Mark 3 on there. I think it is just going to be Mark 6 and that's it. So if you're going for a Legion that just has a certain mark of armour, it's going to be a bit odd. But I think it suits this. I like the attention to detail with the chainsword and the pistol and the unhelmeted Space Marines. I like this kind of Auspex thing. The heavy weapons look good. You're getting 4 heavy weapons. You're getting the heavy bolter, the Volkite, the multi-melter, and the plasma. Clearly, as Dark Angels, I'll be getting a load of plasma ones. Likewise, I think these long shafts would look excellent in a nice purple for Emperor's Children. You've got a little article about Gloomspike Gits, so a little tease. They are coming. We're going to be getting some new models in the battle tome for them. You've got the Regimental Standard Enjoy Boarding Patrol in-flight reading material. And then new from Forge World, you've got the pre-orders, a little look at what's up for those for today. And then made to order returns to Middle-earth with Theoden and Helm's Deep and so on. Gandalf the White, the Ringwraith. So it's another Lord of the Rings Middle-earth made to Middle-earth, set that you can get soon. New Year, New Army, and then a Regimental Standard, Making Friends the Astra Militarum way. So that was all of the news this past week. Let's jump on over to Forge World right here and have a look at their pre-orders. So of course there's still a large advert for Horus Ascended. These are the new pre-orders here, just down to the left. So if we click on new and we go pre-orders, and it's these 3 sets. So you've got the Corpse Harvesting Party, £49.50 for these. Yeah, that's about right. You've got 6 miniatures, you've got 31 components. Considering that they could have sold these in like a set of 2 for 20 something, I think it's not too bad. So yeah, if you wanted these in your party, I really like this model. It's quite cool. I do like things in 40k that, humanoid things in 40k that just aren't, Space Marines or things like that. Like, I think when we see these human, like hive models, I think it's great, even if their rules aren't the best, even if you can't really use them in 40k a lot of the time. I just think it's great from a creative point of view. See, look, yeah, £24 there for the 2 hired guns, and they have 13 components between them both. Then you've got Ajax Gorgoth, Lord of the Fist. So he's £23 just for 1. Be nice to see how tall he is. So yeah, an elite House Goliath agent. Now, just a little question out there. Do House Goliath have the most number of miniatures? Well, looking on here, no. It's actually House Escher, then Goliath and Cawdor. Hired guns, there's 35 hired guns now, which actually includes Ajax apparently. But yeah, that's a lot of hired guns. I think I have Gore Halfhorn and Lady Credo, I think. I wouldn't mind picking more for House Escher though, like Belladonna and Kriya. I think they're quite cool. And that's it from Forge World. So just those 3 pre-orders this weekend. Really got my fingers crossed for the word bearers, resin pads and helmets next weekend. But apart from that, let's move on over to Games Workshop and have a look at all the Astra Militarum. And here we are on Games Workshop's web store. You've got this big advert here for Astra Militarum. And a look at tanks from Forge World. If we just load that up. Yeah, I think it will just load up the Forge World store. Yeah, so you've got all of these that you can pick up. New and exclusive, then pre-orders, then view all. And we go high to low. You will see that you can add the Slaves to Darkness pre-order collection from last weekend. £401 for the Vanguard set, 10 Warriors, the Demon Prince, Lucius the Eternal, Eternus, the Lord, the Ogroid Theridons, the Chosen, and 5 more Chaos Knights. So for 42 miniatures, a book and some dice, £400. Then, brand new for pre-order, you've got this collection art print Astra Militarum Mark 7, £396.50, so another sort of £400, but this time you're getting the art print and some cards. Basically all the new releases for Astra Militarum. They didn't do a Combat Patrol box though, did they? So they can't bundle that in, it's just all the new releases, you know, bundled into one. Then you've got the collection, the art print Astra Militarum launch box, add-on Mark 3 launch box. Okay. Then you've got the Baneblade, which is, you know, there's 8 variants there, so they have to put it as 8 separate selections. Storm Sword, the Doom Hammer, the Storm Lord, the Bane Hammer, the Baneblade, the Bane Sword, the Shadow Sword, and the Hell Hammer. Of course, you've also got the Storm Blade, which is the one with the plasma blast gun. But they don't, you know, they haven't made a plasma blast gun in this scale yet, so they can't bundle that, you know, 9th variant in there. But you can pick it up from Forge World for an extra 50 quid. You've got Horus Ascended, you can still pick that up from Games Workshop. You've got the Vanguard from last weekend. You've got the Astra Militarum Collector's Edition Codex to pre-order, £55. Seems to be 152 pages or so. So quite a chunky book. You know, if you're thinking about picking it up, a lot of content in there. This one, I'm not so sure about the page edges, but it's a decent cover art, a lot going on. You got you got the Battle Tome for Slaves to Darkness last weekend. Then you got the Rogel Dawn Battle Tank, £55 here. For 1, 2, is it 3 sprues? I guess that's like maybe you get the accessory sprue as well somewhere, but maybe that is the accessory sprue. But yeah, if you're after a new tank for Astra Militarum, with lots of guns, they've kind of primarisified it, because I count no less than 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 guns on there. You can have the Gatling cannon or the Demolisher cannon at the front. I do like this though. I like the dual hatches. I'd like the heavy stubber. It does remind me a bit like the film Fury a little bit, but this is bigger, I would think. You got Demon Prince from last weekend. You've got Armageddon Special Edition, £45. You can still pre-order it. It's still about. It looks lovely. Would look beautiful on your shelf. If you like Hell's Reach, then yeah, you can go for that. I would have thought that would sold out very quickly. Gara sold out last weekend. You got more Slaves to Darkness. Lehman Russ pre-order. I think that's just because it's in the new packaging. Tried and tested since 2009. So this is like a 14-year-old kit now. So it's getting on a bit, but they've just repackaged it with a new cover, with a new box. More Slaves to Darkness. You got Lord Solar Leontus, £35 for him. I think it is just what you see is what you get. I don't think he's got any options. I think that is just it. Nice box though, very nice. Turnus was last weekend, so was the Battle Tome for Slaves to Darkness. You've got the Field Ordnance Battery, £32.50. A number of weapons in this. You've got this big heavy las cannon, you've got the mortar, you've got the bombast field gun, you've got the Malleus rocket launcher, you've got a number. It's a shame that there's only 2 in the set rather than like, you know, the old school 3. I think 3 for £32.50 would be an absolute bargain. But yeah, plenty of different options if you were in for, you know, if you wanted to go for an ordnance battery. And I think, you know, you can pick up some Krieg and put them around these and go for that theme. You got the Codex Astra Militarum, £32.50. You've got the Chaos Law and Karkadrak last weekend, so was the General's Handbook, but also you've got the Cadian Shock Troops, £30 now for 10 Imperial Guard. Let's not beat around the bush. However good they are, however good the sprues are, I mean, it does look like a very nice kit, plenty of options and things, and the models look fantastic. A massive improvement from what we had before, more female faces and things. You know, it's fantastic, but it is now £30. So yeah, I think Guard have kind of moved away from being a horde army. You used to be able to, you know, take lots of tanks, but then again, I would say that that's also a horde army if you pick in lots of the same thing. But yeah, they're £30 for 10. Now you got the Heavy Weapons Squad, £30. I think this is not too bad for 3 of them, and you've got loads of options. You've got the mortars, the heavy bolters, the auto cannons, missile launchers, the las cannons. You know, 5 different guns there. Yeah, they look really cool. It seems like they're just a bit squished on their bases though. That's my only sort of comment, is that, you know, a bit squished, a bit compact, but you know, I think a lot of people will enjoy these ones. Lord Castellan Ursula Creed for £27.50. I'm not quite sure whether she's worth the same as Morgan Ra for 1 sprue. I think that's pretty steep. I think £22 or even £21 would have been more appropriate. They've bumped her price up just because of this big old base with some iron girders and rockcrete on. You got the Armoured Sentinels, £27.50. I don't think this is too bad considering you can make the Armoured Sentinel as well as the normal one. And look how many weapon options and things you've got for this thing. You know, as well as making it armoured, you've got, you know, dual weapons, you've got the Flamers, you can have it as a Scout Sentinel. I think it's a massive improvement. I like the armour plates on it. You know, the missile, it's, yeah. I just hope that Forge World pick this up and, you know, just offer like a hydraulic loading arm or something in resin as a separate piece that you can buy, that you can just, you know, integrate it onto this or other weapon options. That would be an idea. You've got the Cadian Command Squad, £27.50. Yeah, it's, you know, 5 Imperial Guard, but, you know, there's Power Fist, there is a big banner there. It's a couple of sprues. Seems like there's lots of weapon options as well for the special weapons guy. And yeah, I suppose you could use some of those spare parts in with your other shock troops. Slaves of Darkness die set was last weekend. Astra Militarum die set. That's, yeah, as expected in those colours. You got the Hero of Chaos last weekend, then the Primaris Psyker this weekend, £19. I think it's the first time you can buy this Psyker separately. They're slowly kind of drip feeding us the Black Fortress miniatures separately after all these years. And then in terms of books, there's no new books other than that Armageddon book, but you've got the data cards for the Astra Militarum for £17. So a lot of pre-orders this weekend, all of Astra Militarum. I think this is it, guys. I think this is their go-to. If they have a new army or a new set of miniatures for a particular existing army, it seems like they're going to release the army set a couple of months before the main release, and then they're just going to release all of the new miniatures in one day up for pre-order. I much prefer their old method of staggering the releases because, well, there's a number of reasons, and I could talk all day about them, but what it boils down to is I think hobbyists, collectors are just bombarded. What do you guys think of all the pre-orders and things today? Are you going to pick up anything from Astra Militarum? Please do put your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. Great to hear from you. Thank you ever so much for joining me today. Thank you for watching. The Emperor Protects.